Hi everyone, it's Lotus and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my April bullet journal setup and we have a bright and colorful theme that is perfect for springtime. So let's get right into the plan with me. This month I decided to go for a nature theme with different types of leaves and hibiscus flowers. So as always, I sketched out where I wanted all of the elements to go in advance and I'm just going over it with the different pens and fine liners right now. And I was really inspired by those jungle leaf layouts, so I wanted the foliage to be spread out across the whole page and have the other elements in the middle, such as the title and the quote. So for the title, I am writing out the name of the month April using one of my Tombow Furunosuke brush pens. And then I am lettering in the quote on the left-hand side of the spread. The quote I chose this month says, "Your future is in your hand, you just have to plant the right seeds." And I found this quote to be very motivational and inspirational because in order to do the things you love in life, you have the power to set yourself up for success and strive towards those goals. And it's something that I'm trying to do in my life right now, so I thought it would be really fitting for this month to kind of look at and have as an intention going forwards. So after drawing everything out, it was time to color. So for the color scheme this month, I chose 2 shades of green, one teal color and a deeper army green. And for the flowers and petal shapes, I used a mix of a magenta, orange, and red to give the flowers some visual interest and dimension. So when coloring in the plants this month, I kind of experimented with layering the markers and leaving some negative space as well, as you could see within the leaves and the flowers, which I think turned out looking pretty cool. And all of the markers I used this month to color in all my spreads are Crayola Super Tips, so they're very easy to get your hands on and very easy to kind of use and layer. In the design itself, I tried to layer a lot of the objects, so I have some of the flowers in front of the leaves, some of the leaves in front of the flowers, these random color blobs which kind of represent flower petals or just any kind of pop of color to kind of break up some of the leaves, but I think it looked pretty cool. So to finish off the spread, I added some pops of color on the flowers and the leaves and kind of worked with the negative space to kind of give it some dimension but also not make it too overpowering. And then my camera cut off when I was filling in the quote, but I just added some blobs of color within the text, using the brighter colors for future and then the green colors for plant. And then we are moving on to the calendar spread. So first I am just writing out the title in a cursive again using my brush pen. And then I'm going right into the calendar. I'm using the thickest mild liner I have, which is the 0.8 thickness. And I am drawing out the calendar boxes. This month I decided to make the calendar a little smaller, so the boxes are 5 by 5. And I decided to make sure I had exactly enough for the 30, but since this month starts on a Thursday, I didn't like the look of not having the Monday to Wednesday filled in, so I still drew boxes for those, but of course I'm going to leave them blank. Next I am drawing the foliage all around, so I drew a bunch of different leaves, so I'm just outlining them using the fine liner. And I kind of drew the plants and the foliage and flowers surrounding the calendar so it looks like it's in the middle of this kind of garden or jungle kind of thing. And I definitely tried to make the leaf patterns and the flowers look as consistent as possible. So I have some kind of repeating motifs of the dark green leaves fanning out with some longer leaves. I have the shorter leaves, and then just some on their own. Next, I just filled in the boxes for the calendar. And I love the look of the black borders colored in with the white gel pen on top. So I'm just filling in the top of the calendar where I'm going to write the days of the week. And then going on top with my white gel pen to write the first initial of the day of the week. In order to use up all of the colors in my color scheme, I decided to alternate the bubbles used for the dates. So I just went and did all of the pinks, orange, red, and teal color and filled in the grid box that way. And now I'm coloring in all of the foliage around, so I have all my different greens and I'm just filling everything in. And to fill in the flowers, I once again used my brighter colors to kind of go around the edges of the petals, made some marks inside and towards the center of the flower to kind of give it some dimension, but making use of a lot of the negative space effect. Then I went in and numbered all of the dates for the month. And at the sidebar, I didn't really know what to do, so I just drew a box and then outlined it with the orange for a pop of color. And next we are moving on to my playlist spread. So I really enjoyed doing this last month, so I decided why not do it again. So for this spread, I decided to do a playlist on the left hand side and notes on the right hand side. So for the playlist spread, I drew a giant phone in the middle, and then I drew a bunch of the foliage around it. And for the notes side, I just drew a big box so I can write down anything that I need. This is kind of like a brain dump page, or a space for me to write down anything that doesn't fit in my weeklies or something that doesn't match, I guess, going there. And then I just drew all the foliage around that as well. So in the playlist spread, I wrote down a lot of songs that I've been currently listening to since I started listening to some newer music. And I've actually been really into ATEEZ lately, so a lot of my songs are actually by them. I have stuff from their newer album that came out at the beginning of March, and some of their older stuff as well. I also have Gone by Rosé on there, and Levanter by Stray Kids. Levanter is an older song, but I've especially loved singing along to the English version. I just relate to the song so much lately, and I love singing it, but after I had already filmed me making this spread, Jackson came out with a new song, Leave Me Lovin' You, and I've been listening to that so much, so if I could replace a song on this playlist, it would probably be Levanter for Jackson's new song, just because it's newer. But I still really love Levanter, and I just sing along to the English version all the time because it's easier for me to learn the lyrics, but I still love the Korean version too. But yeah. I also love the way that this spread turned out very full looking, and I just made sure to use the same color scheme to color in all of the elements. And this gave me an excuse to do kind of another artsy page, because this really is just for fun. It doesn't really have a planning or alternative use, but I really wanted to do more artsy spreads and creative things in my journal. And I have actually never done playlist spreads before, but I see a lot of people in the bullet journaling community do them. So yeah, I'm not sure how often I'll do it, but I decided to do this spread this month instead of a habit tracker or mood tracker, because I just have not been using my habit or mood tracker recently. So I thought this would be a nicer way to kind of add something else in my setup for the month. And the last thing to do was add in the little cover photos of all of the songs. So I just printed out the album photos really tiny and then pasted them on. Now onto the last spread, we have the weekly. So I decided to do a combined spread for April week 1 and week 2, just because things are still not very busy for me. And I actually tried this layout out for the ending of March, and I kind of liked it. So I drew a box on the side of the page that I'm going to write events or tasks that I need to do on a certain day. So I made a box from Monday through Sunday. And then I have a to-do list at the side, and that to-do can be done throughout the week as long as it gets done at some point, but it doesn't necessarily correspond to a certain day. At the bottom, I also drew a box for notes and reminders, just in case I needed extra space to write anything. And then in order to tie in the theme, I just drew this one box next to the reminder box, which has all of the foliage and the hibiscus flower in it, and then I colored that in as well. And at the bottom of the second half of the spread, I didn't really know what to put, but in the past I always write down my thoughts or memories or things that happened to me throughout the month, but since 2021 started, I haven't been doing that. So I made a little box to write down any thoughts or memories that I might want to write down. So hopefully I can use it and like some memorable things happen this month, because I always love looking back at my memories in all of my bullet journals, and I noticed that for 2021 I haven't really written any down yet because I haven't really done anything much. So hopefully I'll get to do that soon. And then I use the different colors, the pink, orange, and red as kind of drop shadows, and use the green and teal as kind of pops of color at the side as well. And that is it for this month's setup. I really love how this turned out. I think it is really bright and colorful and perfect for springtime, so I'm very excited to use it. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!